Well, that's a sound you don't want to hear.
Hello guys and welcome. Richard Finley here. This video is part one covering the installation of the repair kit for a C4 Corvette power seat track transmission. Part two will also cover the installation of new gears if yours need that. Some do, some don't. And the assembly of the frame when you're done. The C4s were built from 1984 through 1996 and have a very common problem with the power seats failing. We're going to show you how to fix that. Now there's what's called a small gear version and a large gear version. This kit is designed for the large gear version. I've only seen one small gear version type and it took some modifications to make it work. So a small gear kit will be in the future. I'll show you how to tell the difference a little bit later. There'll also be an instruction on how to get the kit in the description below. So let's get out to the shop and get started. Now here's what comes in the kit. You got a main gear support. Got a set of nipples for the transmission. Got a set of nipples for the motor side. Got 3 pieces of tubing. The 3 gears, the 2 large ones and 1 small one. The small one is for the forward to reverse travel. A set of 3 end caps. Some spare thrust pills. And a couple of little warning tags that you need to read. I didn't put these in here because I had a lot of excess paper, so read them. And that's it. Here's a C4 seat track with 3 motors and flexible cables driving the transmission. It's held together by these 2 stub shafts with the cotter pins and crossover shaft that slides into the transmission shaft. Right there. Sometimes they come out easy and sometimes not so easy. Yeah, come on. There we go. Alright, then you want to take the 2 flat washers off. Set them aside. Come on. There we go. Alright, we're not going to reuse the 3 pieces of tubing or the 6 clamps. These clamps have already been loosened, so but they can be difficult to remove. So just slide them back out of the way. Now you want to take a razor blade or a knife and cut a little slot. Cut a little slit there right in the tubing, and you just pull them off, and just pull them off. They'll slide right out. And then just set them aside. Alright, the next thing to do is take these 3 bolts out. The center one will have a little spacer on it. Right there. A little spacer. Alright, the other 2 will not. Now this transmission has already been taken apart and cleaned up just for the sake of doing the video, because I didn't want to get grease all over the camera. So that's why it looks nice and clean. Yours won't look so nice and clean. There we go. All right, there's the transmission. Now would be a good time to free up all the tight joints. Okay, the next step is to drill these top rivets out. I'm using a 3/16 bit. We'll drill a couple of them, and I'll just skip over the rest of them, because that's kind of... Now you need to remove this little snap ring off of the crossover shaft. This little snap ring right there. It's a little bitty one. The best way to do it is with some snap ring pliers. You can put a pocket knife or a screwdriver under it and pry it up, but you might deform it. So try not to do that. It's a little bitty thing. That's it right there. So put it aside and don't lose it. All right, now that we have the snap ring off, we can lift the top half off, separate the two halves of the transmission. Sometimes they sticky sometimes. Looks very normal. It's kind of a mess in there. There's an end cap on the rear vertical broken. The forward reverse gear is chewed up. And there's a broken end cap on the front vertical movement. The main gear support is also broken right there. We'll probably find it broken in 2 or 3 pieces when we get it apart. But that just looks very normal for a unit that's not working. When those end caps break, well, that lets the gears get out of alignment, and then it fails. We've got everything all cleaned up now. At the top, you'll see the big white piece. That's the main gear support. I've circled a couple of places where it's broken. It's also got a shaft and a gear on it that we'll have to transfer to the new gear support. I'll show you how to do that in a minute. 2 of the 3 gears are also going to have to be replaced. The little short one looks pretty good. The medium length gear is really chewed up, and the long one is kind of marginal. They get destroyed when the seat is jammed up against the stops a bunch of times. The original gear material is pretty tough, so if yours are still good, go ahead and use them. We'll replace the gears later in the video. All 3 of the end caps are also broken. 2 of them are broken in 2 pieces, and the third one's got a bad crack in it. You'll also see a small metal thrust pill. I call them pills because they look like little pills at the end of each shaft. Don't lose them. There'll be a couple included in the kit just in case one decides to run off and hide. They're bad about that. The 3 pieces of tubing, the clamps, and all of the white plastic parts can be discarded and thrown out after you remove the gear from the main gear support. We'll get that done here in just a minute. All right, now this part is going to be a little bit noisy. You just grab a hammer and knock that shaft out right there. It's pretty easy to come out, and then get you a punch and knock it out the rest of the way. Then pick it up off the floor. These little gears right here, I've seen them installed both ways. There's a groove on here. I have no idea why. There's no consistency in how they're installed. But you can put them in either way. It really doesn't seem to make a difference. To get the gear put back on the new gear support, it's a pretty simple matter. All you need to do is get it started, get the shaft started in the gear. Just give it a couple of taps. Make sure it's started straight, and then knock it down the rest of the way until it bottoms out, just like that. And it'll be a sloppy, loose fit. That's totally normal. That's all there is to it. Now it's time to get all this put back together. The first thing you want to do is set the frame on its side. I found that using the frame as a fixture to line everything up seems to work better than just putting the transmission together and then dropping it all in place. In order to do that, if you look down in this little hole right here, there's a little red plastic slider. You want to line that hole up with the tooth on the rack. Then drop your bottom part of the housing in place and set the main gear support over that and line it up, and it'll fall right in place. All right, that gets that where it should be. Now I'm going to put this together dry. You want to use plenty of grease on it, but I didn't want to get grease all over the camera, so I'm putting it together dry. The grease that I like to use is called Super Lube. Comes in a little tube. It's a silicone-based grease. Works really good on plastics. Part number is a 21030. I don't know if you can see it right there, but that's the part. It's a little, I think 3-ounce tubes. That's plenty to do 2 or 3 transmissions. All right, once you get the supposed grease in it, you want to drop the little pills in each one of the holes. I like to put a little grease after you drop the pill in. Put a little grease in there, work it around a little bit, and that helps hold the pill in place. Put the shaft in. Do the same thing on the other end. Drop the pill in place, put the shaft in, and hold it. The third one, let me get turned around here. Drop the pill in, put the shaft in. Now you can put everything back over the housing. And there it drops in place. All right, the next thing to do is put the end caps on. Same procedure. Drop the pill in, put a little grease in it to hold it in place, and slide it over the shaft. Make sure the little post drops into the square on the housing. We're going to do that to all 3. Do the same thing. Put the pill in, drop it in place. And the last one. All right, now here's one other thing. That one did it. You want to make sure that that little pill, well, it turns sideways in there, laying on its side like that. You want to make sure it lays flat against the bottom. Otherwise, it won't go all the way on the shaft. All right, we got that all down. Give them a spin. Make sure they spin right. Yeah, it spins just fine, so we're good to go there. Now we want to put the big gears in place. Now earlier in the video I told you that I would tell you the difference between a large gear and a small gear shaft. The large gear shaft, that's what this one is. You can tell by the diameter of the little stub that sticks there. On the large gear, it's 300 to 310 thousandths diameter. Put an S on it for the short side. Goes right there. Same thing with the long. It's 300 to 310 thousandths. If it was a small gear, they'd run 235 to about 265. They seem to vary a little bit. Not really consistent. But the small gear shaft will have a little small diameter right there. But the only way you can tell those is to take it apart. There's another way. On the small gear shaft, these 2 holes on this one, they're about 800 thousandths apart. The small gear, they're really close together. So that's another way you can tell, but I don't remember what that dimension was. All right, after you put those in place, you can drop the little worm gears in, put some grease around the shaft, make sure plenty grease gets down in the holes and on this half moon right here, because it's kind of a guide for the worm gears. Same thing, put grease around the shaft, put grease down in that little bitty hole, and drop them down. Then you can put the inner nipple on. Put a little grease in here. Put a little grease in each one of those holes, work it around a little bit. Get it all the way down in there, because that's actually a bearing surface when it goes into that shaft. So grease it up really good. Put some grease on the gears, a lot of grease on the gears. I use the silicone grease on the plastics, and I use an automotive wheel bearing grease, a lithium-based grease on the metal-to-metal gears. You want to put some around in this area, put it around the shaft, put some on the little stub shafts on both sides before you close. Now that we've got everything all greased up, you can go ahead and put the top on it. Sometimes you have to move the little end caps around just slightly before they'll fall in the hole. Another thing you may have to do is to move it back and forth a little bit. Sometimes that helps. That's kind of difficult sometimes. They don't want to. Don't force it, just work with it till everything goes. See, that's nice and flush now. That's what we're looking for. Then I like to put a couple of screws in there. I'm using some 1024s right here, just to hold everything keep it from moving around. Now I just put a couple of screws in right here for the sake of the video. So be sure and put all the screws in it, or you can use pop rivets. But if you use the screws, make sure they're little sharp ones and they don't interfere with any part of the frame. There we go. Then you can put the 3 bolts in. Remember the center one has the spacer. Goes right there. We're going to cheat. All right. All right, and then just snug them up. They don't need to be real tight, just nice and snug. There we go. And then put the snap ring on. Sometimes you can just slide it over the shaft. Other times you have to use some snap ring pliers when they're really tight. Here we go. All right. There we built a transmission.